So, hello, and thanks for meeting, and we'll have our first official O3 of the year. And I'm very excited because I feel like this year's gonna be great because we're not gonna have, everyone's gonna always be here, and we will always continue to have O3s this year. So I'm just looking forward to continuing to meet with you and us continuing to get in the classrooms and help people grow. So I did review your video of Deontap1 yesterday, and there are lots of really strong things, thinking about the openings you did last year and the one that you just submitted. It was really, really strong. It had a lot of things in it. I don't know if you looked at it since you recorded it, but even just thinking back to as you implemented it, what did you think was successful about it, and how did you think about it?
I think I felt really strong and really confident going into planning it, which I think helped with the overall execution. So just sitting down and knowing what I was doing, knowing what my vision was for the meeting, and having that in hand, as I started to write it, then made everything more deliberate and more purposeful. As I was planning the practice and writing my script and what I wanted her to do because I already knew the action steps. So a lot of things really helped a lot, meeting you and meeting helped a lot too, just knowing how to use resources that we have.
Yeah. So I think it was very obvious that you used resources, the action step was very much aligned to get better faster. And I also just really thought that the action step was creative and really it was creative the way that you did it, but it was also very a high impact for her. And I wanted to just kind of dig deeper into how did you make that happen, having her have the action step. And I can't remember the exact words, but it was build momentum in their classroom and enjoy. Because you could have chosen something like bring it or joy factor, you could have chosen something like that, but you chose to build momentum in the challenge. Based on your observations of her, how did you determine that would be the best work for that action step?
Yeah, so I definitely knew from observations joy was a factor that was lacking in person, and just seeing in her interaction with students and her overall just tone of the day, was just it was overwhelmingly negative, and I don't think it was intentional. It was just coming out that way. So that was something that I wanted to make sure that I addressed in an action step with her, and then also just noticing the pacing of her lessons were also very slow, and kids were easily distracted. Or something like that. Kids were very easily distracted and got off task pretty quickly. And so knowing that she needed to keep them together with actual momentum, but most importantly add some joy.
Yeah, so I think
lots of joy.
Yeah, lots of it.
Lots of
so you added two things that she needed. She needed some momentum and challenge, and she just needed to be more joyful in her delivery. So just things that I saw that I really loved about the video was, again, you have been observing her, even with you having been in the class a week, thinking of the feedback that Satira and I gave when we were there, thinking about just even when you did the quick walkthroughs, when you had breaks, you knew that she had a culture that was needing to be overly negative, and it caused her to struggle, especially in the afternoon with some of her scholars. And you also showed a model of a joyful class routine. So that led her to work on her joy. And again, I think the action step was a strong one, and I thought it aligned nicely to the get better, faster sequence and encompassed two things that she really needed to work on. And I also like the follow-up that you have, I love the, there weren't even really moves for it, but the pump it up move and the bright face move. I was oh, those are really good coaching moves that are least invasive and can be done in the back of the classroom. You also sparred, you had a script prepared, like you said, and sparred with it, so I thought that was really strong too. And just having the script allowed you to coach her during practice. With varying her tone, having a bright face, and implementing cheers and chants because you knew that's what you wanted to see. So just shine gold stars. I don't know where your trophy is.
I need to find
Did
it.
you
I
lose
think
it?
it's right.
You lost it.
I'll touch it.
Yeah. So today I want to focus on one small piece of it, which is thinking about the model that you're choosing when you're giving when you're thinking about the action step and making sure that the model directly aligns to the action step that
Absolutely.
you want to give. So I'm going to share Hannah's script with you, and this is from the O3 that I had with her, even though she was late for it. This is, I'm sharing in a wet zone, so hopefully this works.
Now I know where to look.
I just shared, it says successfully shared with you.
Okay. Yep. Look at us.
I know, aren't we just even better? So just read the script of Hannah's O3 and pay particular close attention to the model script and the action step that I have for her. And just think about what you noticed about the alignment to the model and the action step, and then what could the impact have on the part labor practice and implementation in math workshop. It'll take 2 minutes.
So what I'm noticing is, so the model that you have is exactly aligned to the how steps of the action step. So that way, like when you're talking about the gap, like it'll be very evident of like what it is she's supposed to be pulling out, and what she was supposed to be doing but missed in her actual implementation of her lesson.
Yeah, because when I showed her the video of herself, I wanted her to see like exactly at that moment what was happening in her classroom what was not happening in her classroom that was happening in the model, and like being able to see the impact that it could have had on students potentially like right away. So I wanted her to see that early in the O3. So thinking about your script, well, you went ahead and got to like, what do you feel like the impact could be of Hannah's later implementation? How could that impact her during it when she like went to math workshop, like later that day or like the next day?
Just like thinking about like the model that she had, like she'll be reminded of exactly what she needs to be doing and like what it should look and sound like.
Yep, and it's rooted in like the exact part of the lesson that she needs to do better.
Gotcha.
And then like in the future, how could that probably help her? Like even beyond like just the next day. Like how could she maybe like take this and like, I call it being your own coach, so to speak. Like how could she maybe like take what she just learned and do that?
I mean, you have like a frame of reference still, like that you can carry with you. So like even if it's like a printed script or whatever it is, like you have this like exemplar to like refer back to when you're home to make sure like this is the bar that I'm reaching or surpassing.
And she knows that it's for, like I intentionally wrote this model because I wanted it to be rooted in like part of her academic routine, because I felt like, you know, her transitions are going okay, but I want to make sure that she knows how to do this also in that workshop. So thinking about your script, and if you have it pulled up or can pull it up easily, what do you see as just some differences between the model that you chose and the model that I wrote?
So like the video that I showed her?
Yeah, and if you just remember, you can just.
Yeah. So the video that I showed her it was a routine, it was in the academic block. And so we ended up talking about a specific routine when the vision was to talk about the academic block and improving the block itself versus like one 30-second routine.
Yeah. So, I mean, routines are important, and we want her to have like a tight restroom routine, but if you're thinking about like the action step you chose, like her action step was to like build a momentum in instruction, which is actually the right action step. Like that is what's going to get her classroom like all the way there. So just thinking about like it was joyful, but if you had chosen to do a live model or chosen a video that directly aligned to that. Like there would have been no question in her mind. And then if you think about when you did your script and like when she got up to practice, what did you notice about that? Like how is it different? If you think about the model you showed was of I think it was paper passing, and then you wrote the script.
Independent work.
Yeah, you wrote an independent work script, and then she worked to write one. What do you feel like happened in that practice, like based on how that progressed from the model to the script to her practice?
I think there were still a few nuances of like what it should look and sound like in terms of independent work, in relation to like the video that we saw of paper passing. It's like there was like a disconnect of what should have happened.
Yeah, and how could it have helped her to actually see you? Like, what do you think you could have done differently?
So I think had I actually like shown her or like had captured a video of someone else doing the action step in an academic block, I think it would have helped her script be that much stronger, and then we would have had more to talk about when we were comparing.
Yeah, because she would have seen it like twice. Maybe like if you had done a live model or shown her a video of someone doing it in an academic block, she would have seen it once as a model, then she would have seen her gap, then she would have seen a script that you wrote, inspired, and fixed hers, and it just would have given her like lots of different opportunities to think about what she needed to do well before she started to practice.
Gotcha.
And then if I actually think about her practice, it would have given you like an opportunity to maybe even do more adapts with like different academic blocks. Like she named guided reading as something that she needed to work on, which is true. She also named math workshop, like, which is true. But if she had seen like you do the model, you did a lot of live coaching on like her body language, her bright face, which was great. But had she seen you do a model like when you were coaching her and you were modeling, like it was excellent and she got better fast. If she had seen that first early in the 03, could have helped her have like a better practice, like a quicker pace practice where she could have done that in like maybe more than one routine.
Gotcha.
Even within that 25 minutes that you had.
Okay.
Does any of that resonate? You have questions about any of it?
No, I think you're spot on. Like that was one of the things that I walked away thinking like, dang, I wish we had more time to practice, like just so I can see you do it in different ways.
Yeah.
And so I definitely addresses that concern that I had walking away.
So just based on what we just talked about, what do you think your action step will be for next week?
Wow.
Right, other openings.
So it's going to be around like making sure that my model is directly aligned with the action step, with the root components of my action step, to allow for more practice at the end and more targeted practice at the end.
Great. So that was like actually just what I had. I said show or choose a model that directly aligns to the action step you want to give, and I actually like the fact that you added so that they could have more practice at the end. So that was like a good addition. I didn't have that in. And then the how to do that, and I wrote down these steps. Like number one, and we can add steps if you think we need to add or talk about any of them, but determine the action step and whether it would be like academic or a culture step. And write the action step just like you normally would with a what and a how. And then before you even choose a model, what are the key points that you want emphasized in that model based on the action step?
Say again.
So determine the key points that you want to emphasize in the model. Like for me, I wanted to make sure that like Hannah wasn't telling them look fors on the paper, so I wanted to make sure there was like look fors in the model that I did. So it was like one specific thing that I really wanted her to do, because she was just saying, now you're going to do number 2, do your best. You have like 30 seconds. But if she had given them like, you know, like mark up your paper this way, do step 1, 2, 3, like if you need help, it's on the anchor chart. Like that gets kids working more with 100%. So that was part of, like, I thought about those are key points in the model that I wanted. And then determine like how the model will be, like will it be live coaching, will it be a live model, or do you want to use a video? And I think either one is fine, as long as it like directly aligns to those key points. And just script the model or like highlights from the video that you're going to show.